Wrapping up here at Media Day here at M&T Bank Stadium, home of the Baltimore Ravens, here with Towson Tigers. You guys are right down the street. Nice little short trip. I'm sure, Media Day isn't too bad for you guys. Only having to, a little 10, 15-minute drive down here for you, huh?
It's nice that we get to drive, although today we all got in Noah's Ark and we paddled our way down 83 and we made it for all those everybody's worried.
There you go, a bit of a quagmire out there today. Yes, Coach, a lot of injuries last year, but you guys were able to win 3 of your last 4. What are some of the expectations you look in here heading into 2018 and maybe some of that momentum at the end of the last season? Do you look at any of that as, as momentum for your team?
I think the guys really took to what we became at the end of the season, and that we divided the season into 2, and that who we weren't, and take the injuries away, who we weren't and what we didn't do at the beginning of the season versus who we became and what we did do at the end of the season. And they really took the mentality that gave us success at the end of the season and decided to hold on to it with both hands, carry it through the offseason, and I like where we sit today.
Talk a little bit about going into camp now, right? And when you've got guys like Matt and Monty and how important they are to kind of the product that's going to end up showing up there the first week. I mean, having leadership, having guys that understand how to work the right way as you roll into camp.
I'd say in the past couple of years, that despite the injuries, that's one of the things that has really been lacking. And these guys have, I don't know, we talked about it towards the end of the season, and in today's world, kids really want to say, I lead by example. I lead by example. And I kind of had enough of that and said, that's not going to work. And if everyone leads by example, who drives the bus? Who says where we're going? Who says when we stop? Who says it's good enough or not good enough? And these guys had decided that they didn't like where we were, that they understood that if we wanted to go somewhere, they had to take responsibility for it. And you're looking at 2 of the guys that have really grown into that role. They've always been respected as players, but now they're respected as leaders.
Speaking of one of those guys, Matt Kauffman on the offensive line, this offense last year kind of went through a little bit of growing pains, but the majority of the starters are coming back. What are the expectations have you set for this offense going into 2018?
We definitely have high expectations for our as an offense and as an offensive line, and that really starts in the summer with having guys out there doing the extra, going above and beyond what they're asked to do, and going out there and doing footwork and extra stuff and running routes and doing 7-on-7s and stuff like that. So we have high expectations this year.
Monty, talk a little bit about the defense and where you guys feel you are. It's a physical group. I got to watch call a couple games last year. Talk about where you are and what you guys have to get better at in camp.
Defense here, since I've been here, we always been strong, solid every year. We play very fast and physical. I feel like the strongest part of our defense is the linebacker core, and we have a lot of guys and a lot of vets in that area that has been playing since their freshman year and knows what it takes to play in this league and how to be great. And we're going to have new faces in the back end, but it's going to be guys that has played Division I level ball before.
So we've been talking to players and coaches. The theme kind of been today has been talking about training camp, and I actually been kind of circling this team all along. I want to know what a Rob Ambrose like run training camp is. I imagine a lot of clashes, snot bubbles, all this other stuff between the offense and defense. To give us your thoughts and feelings on training camp overall, Matt.
It's definitely physical. Lots of reps. We get lots of reps. Fast-paced practice, and it's really good for what we do. This year we're going to a no-huddle offense, so it's going to be a good, fast-paced thing. It's going to fit our practice, and I think it'll be good.
And facing this no-huddle offense as a defense in training camp, what is that like for you?
It's going to be new to us. Well, not new to us in the league because more teams are playing. They switching up spray offense, hurry up offense, but it'd be new for the offense and definitely new for the defense for us. But we usually go smash mouth. We're usually old school offense, but we're seeing we got to take new approaches and new steps to try and get back on top.
Coach, talk a little bit going to a huddle. One of the things that I love about the CAA is there are still fullbacks, there's still tight ends. Are you still going to have fullbacks and tight ends?
We are.
Good.
Clearly we didn't talk before we did this, so no one needed to know we were going no huddle, but I guess the cat's out of the bag, so yes, we are. But we will still be using all the personnel groups we used before that. Oh, boy. Always teaching.
Okay, it's a coachable moment, right? You just got to keep it secret. So
some of us know how to play cards. And
some don't, right? Well, from an offensive lineman's perspective, right, that kind of smash mouth football, it's got to be a nice change of pace. With everybody, pass dropping and pass sending, letting you guys go forward feels good, right? You're a big fella. You walked up here, you towered over me, right? So you enjoy that kind of football?
Yeah, definitely. That's what fits our offense too. Physical group up front, veteran group, and I think that's what fits us as people and our body types too.
So it's more fun than sitting on stage and talking, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Good.
Coach, we've been asking all the coaches about training camp, how much it's changed over the years. So, back in your playing days, the Tua days, and back in Brandon's days, same thing. How much has it changed, and how has it changed you as a coach over the years, and how you approach these practices on the off season?
I think as a player, when you grow up in this, that you can see, even when you're young and think you know everything when you don't, you can see some of the things that you're doing that are truly beneficial to your own growth as a player, as a team. And you can also see some things that just kind of don't make sense. Like, I'll go back to my youth. I don't get the whole, we're not going to drink water, but we're going to, still, logically, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So the game has progressed, and the way we teach and coach the game has progressed. There's a greater degree of focus on safety, much more than there was, say, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And catching up to the lives of these young guys. Like, if you think about how many kids grew up in non-air conditioned houses 20-some years ago versus today, and what did kids do all summer? Well, they went outside and they played ball. Acclimation was not a big deal. When you spend your life in the air conditioning and then you go out in 100-degree weather, acclimation's a big deal. And whether you like it or not, it's something that you have to prepare for their safety and their growth. So it's the game. If you look in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, to where the game is constantly evolving, and the best players and the best coaches are the ones that keep up.
Monty, talk a little bit. I mean, you've played a lot of football now at Towson. Talk a little bit about what it's going to be like to go out there, that first game, right, and running out of that tunnel this year.
Last go around, only have 11 guaranteed games. Can't take no plays off, can't take no plays for granted, because you never know when your last snap is going to be, especially as a senior. And I play a lot of Division I football, and Matt also. So, I mean, this is our last go around. Definitely want to end out with a bang. We're going to make a run in the playoffs.
Thoughts on opening up against Morgan State? I know it's an opponent now in the city. You get to take on those guys, and at the same time you do have kind of Wake Forest looming, and I know you guys are probably not looking towards them, but maybe just the excitement overall. You get to play an ACC school.
Yeah, it's the first game. It's a great thing for the city of Baltimore to have two close universities playing, and it's always good to win that game, have bragging rights for over the Baltimore area. And that second game of the year, we're not going to look past Morgan State. That's a great opponent. So that second game of the year, though, is going to be a good game for us, a good test, and we're looking forward to it.
Monty, what about you?
Like I say, can't take no games for granted. The first game, we got to take it as the next game. So the same way we look at Morgan State, we have to look at Wake Forest, and the same way we look at Wake Forest, we have to continue to get better and take one game at a time. Because, FCS teams is beating FBS teams this year, and it's been a lot of upsets. So you prepare right, you prepare strong, you come out with a better outcome.
Speaking of FCS teams beating FBS teams, that often does happen in the CAA. Just the continued growth of this league, Coach, your thoughts on the CAA, heading into 2018, another grind of a year.
Yeah. No, I talked to some of the coaches and some of the other conferences, and especially at the higher levels, and they can tell you that in their conference they can look at their schedule and go, this game, and this game are going to be the break or breaks, and these are the 5 that we should win. And there's not a coach in the CAA that ever looks at our schedule like that. It's just like, okay, we survived that one. Who's next? And that's really what it is. And it doesn't really matter who you're playing or what part of the season is. It is who grinds the best, who stays the most healthy, and who finishes the best. And whoever's left standing, those are the guys that are making the run for the national title. And I used to joke when I first got the job, and looking at the history of this, that it's harder to win the conference title in our league than it is to win the national championship. It really is. And you look at the teams outside of JMU going in the last couple years, the teams from our league that won the national championship did not win the conference title that year. That just tells you what kind of league we're in.
Yes, it is. Well, Coach, Matt, Monty, thank you so much. You joining us for a second time, which is great. Always great to see you.
Yeah.
And, good luck this season. Stay healthy. And look forward to seeing the Tigers week 1 against Morgan State.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.